Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D about to react to this vid by Blackie Speaks. It's titled "Why Rappers Keep Dating the Same Women." I mean, there are very few women in the industry, so it just appears that they're all dating the same people because they want to date someone that's in that space. I mean, obviously they could step outside of that and date more normal women who are not in the industry, but they don't want to do that. So that's why it comes across like they're all dating the same people. And then of course they're gonna pick like the baddest of the bad. So it'd be like the top few, really attractive women that are getting like swapped out by these men. That sounds crazy. Anyway, let's hear what he has to say. Let's watch.
Now, if you've been paying attention, you've probably noticed this pattern. Rappers keep dating the same women, same faces, same couples, same relationships popping up again and again. And this pattern shows up everywhere in the rap game. Even Drake and Future allegedly fell out after dealing with the same woman at one point. That's how small this circle really is. And here's the part nobody really breaks down. The dating pool in hip-hop is very tiny, like way smaller than people think. And to really show you...
Also, some of these niggas is weird. They be wanting to date people that, their enemy dated or that someone that they look up to dated. Because it's like, ooh, if he dated her, then if I date her too, then, I'm kind of more in line with him. They do a little weird shit like that. So I'm sure that has to do with it as well.
I mean, let me start.
Or when they're dating their ops, ex, it's like, oh, let me try to get back at him. But the whole time, he probably don't give a fuck about her no more. He moved on. He like, I don't care if you talk to her. But in that guy's head, he's weird thinking that, oh, I'm about to make him mad.
This video off with a quick story. A couple years ago, I met this mid-level rapper. He had a Billboard charting record at the time and some decent buzz to his name. I met him backstage during one of his shows, and that was because a friend of mine had gotten invited, and I just happened to be the plus one. So I'm backstage or whatever. There's a bunch of people there, right? The music is loud, etc. And then I noticed something really interesting. In the corner of the room, right, there's these three girls, two in red, one in black. And immediately, I actually recognized these women because I'd seen those exact same girls at another rapper show about like 6 months earlier. So I asked my friend, I'm like, hey, bro, who are those three girls in the corner? And then he looks at me and says, bro, they're just a part of the circle. At that point, I didn't really need to ask anything else. And for anybody who's confused, he was basically telling me they're regulars. They move around the whole industry. And that's just one real life example of this entire conversation. Once you really start paying attention, you realize rappers aren't dating from the whole world. They're dating from the same circles over and over. I'm talking same faces, same rooms, same rotation, just behind different doors. Now let's talk about some of those very popular faces in hip-hop. Because if you've been anywhere near hip-hop culture or even hip-hop adjacent, you might recognize at least one of the women on the screen right now. Let's start with the one to the left, and that is Selena Powell, the self-proclaimed industry thot. I did say self-proclaimed, okay? Selena has built a career off of exposing rappers, finessing situations, turning private moments into clout, and she's taken pride in all this. This is her forte, like this is what she does. And then we have Ruby Rose, someone who got her first big breakthrough dating Playboy Cardi. She rode that momentum very nicely, got connected to the right people, and before you know it, she popped up in the Bad and Bougie music video. Wasn't Takeoff left off Bad and Bougie? RP to Takeoff. From there, Ruby Rose became a recognized face in the industry. She's dated several rappers in the game, built a massive IG presence, dropped music, launched an OnlyFans account. Now, Ruby is interesting because she really understood the environment very early on and turned visibility into a business model. And unlike a lot of the women who got caught up in the game, Ruby caught on to the game early and capitalized off of all of it, securing her own bag in the process. You gotta respect that. And then there's India Love, someone who didn't just pop up on Instagram like most people think. India actually first popped off on Tumblr back during that whole, aesthetic edits, it girl era. She built a serious following there before Instagram even became the move. And then after that, she picked up even more attention through reality TV and early IG culture. So by the time Instagram blew up, she was already a known face and slid right into that OG IG baddie / model, whatever you want to call it, right, lane. So she's been in the mix for over a decade, and her first major mainstream moment came from her relationship with the game. At the time, she was 18, and he was 35. 35? I know.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Like 35? I know. 35? Yeah. And from that point forward, she's basically been connected to the same circle ever since. Last but definitely not least, we got Brittany Renner. She's another woman who's been in the mix for years, and yeah, she's mostly known for finessing the athletes, but she's been around the rap world as well. She dated Lil Uzi Vert actually way back, and she was even married to Kevin Gates for like 2 business days. Now all of these women are basically the faces everybody recognizes when people talk about the women who've been connected to the industry's biggest rappers for years. But here's the thing. This whole pattern, this rotation, this ecosystem, it didn't start with these women. Before the IG models, before the industry girl even became a term, it all started with one woman, a big throwback, a name from the blog era. A lot of y'all will probably recognize Cat Stacks.
I'm Cat Stacks.
She was so busted, bruh. And everybody was fucking her. I was like, oh my god, she is not cute.
A lot of stories to tell. The people I
And she was like slow. You could tell, like hearing her talk, it didn't sound like she had above a 6th grade education.
in my blog aren't all the people I've been with. I've been to Lil Wayne's crib. I've been up them. A nigga give me $1,200 motherfucking dollars.
Ooh.
For everyone tuned in during the blog era, you already know who this is. The first real rap groupie the internet ever saw. She was loud, unfiltered, unapologetic, and the definition of I'll say whatever the fuck I want to say. And her whole brand was basically exposing rappers. And the thing about Cat Stacks is she actually ended up revealing something nobody was even thinking about back then. And that was that rappers only deal with a select group of women. Now, Cat wasn't just around rappers. She was inside the parts of the industry people never see. And because she was proudly shameless, she talked about everything that she saw behind the scenes.
It was all publicity, entertainment, because to them, I just see them as business, not friend type. My family's my friend, but they're just business.
Now that clip right there, that was Cat in her purest form. No filter, no secrecy, no protective brand. Like this woman just...
She looks more cleaned up in that clip. She didn't look as bad, but the other clips I would see of her busted. I'm just like, oh my god.
She just didn't give a fuck, okay? And she moved exactly like that.
And I always want to point that out because it's like the fact that she had access to so many rappers, it was just confusing. It was like, wait, not only does she just looked dirty also. she's like some hood rat that they just put off the street. So she looked dirty, crusty, and she wasn't that cute. So it was like, wait, what is going on here? And y'all all want her? It was weird.
In a lot of ways, Cat Stacks became the blueprint for what we now call the industry girl. And yeah, let's be honest, she was definitely clout chasing like crazy. That was her whole hustle. But here's the funny part. Even while she was doing it for attention, she was accidentally pulling back the curtain on something way bigger than her. She showed you the same thing over and over again. These rappers are basically all running through the same group of women. And once you put those pieces together, you finally understand why this keeps happening. It all comes down to one thing, and that word is access. Who gets in, who stays in, who even has the proximity to step into the room in the first place.
One of the first questions that someone asked was, why rappers recycle the same women? I wonder why.
I'll tell you this. I think they recycle the same women because are all in the same circle.
When people talk about access, here's what it really means. Rappers aren't choosing from the world. Their environment is choosing for them. They deal with whoever is actually available in their world, not the millions of people the internet imagines. And once you take a look at the rooms they're actually moving in, studios, backstage, private events, late night sessions, that huge dating pool everybody thinks exists shrinks very fast. The circle becomes tiny, not because they don't have other opportunities, but because those are the only people who even exist in their day-to-day reality. Because the truth is this, most artists spend their days locked in studios, catching last-minute flights, doing press runs, moving city to city, sleeping strange hours, surrounded by the same team, in the same environments on repeat. So even though they're technically meeting people every day, they're not making real...
Hey, he was really like rolling out the red carpet for her. He was like flaunting her, like loving her proudly. I remember she had her little slut walk thing going on. He was like wearing her merch and supporting that as well. Like, yeah, slut walking, I'm supporting my girl. Like, it's crazy he was doing all that for her. And I think about him mulatto and I'm like... It's just like night and day. That shit wild.
Connections with anybody. Their schedule doesn't allow it. Their security, depending on what...
Because both times, I know people use the excuse that, oh, it's because, you know, he can't. He's supposed to be fake married or whatever the hell they be trying to say. Wasn't that the case back then as well? I'm confused.
Level they're at doesn't allow it. Their fame, depending on what level they're at, doesn't allow it. So naturally, they end up dating the people who are already in the mix, already in those rooms, already accustomed to their lifestyle. And once you understand that, the whole question of why do all these rappers date the same women starts making a lot more sense. And here's the thing. This whole dating ecosystem they're in, it's basically one big recommendation loop. Because most of these dudes are not best friends, but they all move in the same exact circles. In other words, they're doing shows together, which means they're backstage together. They're at the same studio sessions. They share the same promoters, security, videographers. They hit the same clubs and the same after parties. And what happens is this. Once a woman gets close to one rapper or is even seen around him, her name automatically travels through that whole network. Yeah, she been around the homies. Yeah, she's solid. Yo, she a little crazy, but she's definitely loyal. She's safe. She knows how to move. Whatever, right? That's the recommendation loop. It's not organized. It's just how the industry operates. So when a woman enters that world, she's not just dating one rapper. She's basically introduced to the whole gang by default. Because once you're in that circle, you're accessible to everybody inside that world. To them, she's the safe option. Not the best option, not the baddest option, far from, because a lot of the fans be way better than these industry women, right?
Facts, but some of them aren't even the safe option because they spilling all your tea. That's why, Kat Stacks and even Selena Powell are confusing. It's like they're not safe at all. They're not keeping your business on the low. They're telling everybody about what y'all doing. They're exposing you.
That's another conversation. She's just the familiar one. And yes, it's very transactional in most cases, but nobody looks at it like that. Because at the end of the day, these are all grown adults coming together, knowing what it is, and they're all benefiting from it somehow. So it's really just the unspoken system that's been a part of hip-hop forever. Now, let me give you guys a clear example of what I mean. Y'all know Sexyy Red, right? Of course you do. Now, before Sexyy Red blew up, she wasn't living this superstar lifestyle. On one interview with Sean Kine from Say Cheese, she talked about having like $30 in her pocket back then. She was broke, she was grinding, she was trying to figure things out. And here's the interesting part, right? Before Sexyy Red became popular, she was already spending a lot of time in Chicago, specifically around rapper FBG Duck, who was popping in Chicago before he got killed in 2020.
You met FBG Duck before he passed, and you traveled to Chicago to meet. Was it to meet him specifically?
No, it was to shoot my video.
And this footage of Sexyy Red being around FBG Duck and a bunch of other people somewhere, I don't know where this is. This footage popped up when Sexyy Red started blowing up.
What's your rap name?
I don't know yet. Somewhere red though.
Now, I'm not saying that anything happened between them. That's none of my business. Like, generally, I don't even care, right? The point is this. She was already inside that environment. She was already around that circle. She already had proximity to the culture before she ever had a name in the game. Even after that, Sexyy Red was allegedly connected to Chief Keef at one point, and I'm pretty sure they were dating. I'm pretty sure, but it's another conversation, right? Again, same circle, same ecosystem, same route to visibility. Sexyy Red didn't pop out of nowhere. She was already moving through the exact rooms that eventually pulled her into the industry. And that's how this world works. Once you're inside those environments, you're not connected to one person, you're connected to the whole network. And that network runs on one thing, familiarity. Because here's the part that nobody really ever talks about, which is something that I touched on earlier. Although these women may not be the best option or even, the most attractive one, they're usually the most predictable option. And when I say predictable, I mean this. They already understand the lifestyle, the chaos, the late nights, the pressure. So rappers don't have to explain themselves or risk being misunderstood. And honestly, that applies to anybody. You don't have to be a rapper to relate to this, right? Whatever life you live, you don't want to sit there breaking down your whole schedule, your stress, your routine to somebody you're dating. You just want somebody who gets it. And predictability goes a very long way in an industry where nothing else is predictable. Think about it like this. Being a rapper today means living in constant uncertainty. 1 month you're up, the next month you're praying the algorithm isn't killing you. One mistake can ruin an entire rollout.
Yeah, when he was with Kylie, oh my God.
Line can tank your momentum.
She was a child.
There's no stable schedule, no routine, no structure. So when everything around you is chaos, your brain naturally gravitates towards whoever feels familiar. And psychologists call this the familiarity bias. You don't need to graduate from Harvard to understand this. It's very simple. Your brain likes what it recognizes. Your brain trusts what it's seen before, even if it isn't the best choice.
All right, brother, you made your point, all right? But yeah, I really wish he went into more detail about how some of these rappers, date these girls out of spite and just being petty, and also because they want to be Eskimo brothers with certain men, because that is definitely a thing. Some people have even admitted to this being the case. Like, famous people admitted, like, yeah, that's why some of the dudes date. I've heard this and I've seen this, I've heard even even Joe Budden speak on this before as well. So yeah, that's definitely a thing in the industry for sure. But this is also one of the reasons. It's because hey, these are the girls that are around, and yeah, they do get my lifestyle. So I mean that makes sense. But dating the ones who are exposing you and they busted, that I'll never understand. But do you? It's your life, I guess. Y'all let me know what y'all think though, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.